Good morning, you lucky devils. Welcome to a post-Crowelymas Monday morning edition of Sunrise Sermonette. Very quickly, an update on the long-promised premium episodes on Bryan Hartnell and Cecelia and Shepard. As we all know by now, Netflix is dropping a Zodiac documentary on the 26th, featuring our old friend Arthur Lee Allen. I realized I probably ought to do an episode about Arthur Lee Allen. Not to mention, and guess who's the featured expert? Shit for brains himself, Tom Voigt. Ha ha ha. I've got an episode down in the wine cellar about Tom Voigt. We'll wait till the documentary drops. What I'm going to kneecap them with before the documentary drops, just out of spite, just because they never even asked me, just out of spite, I will be kneecapping their entire documentary before it airs, because I'm going to do a thorough, and now I really need to do a thorough episode on Arthur Lee Allen anyway. But I did, I've been exhausted. You people wear me out. So I kind of half-assed the episode on Bryan and Cecelia before, just to get one out there before the documentary drops on Netflix. And the whole time I was doing the episode live, I'm like, I forgot a whole bunch of shit from way back, right, that I couldn't find, but I just wanted to get one out there. Well, I decided, if you've waited this long, so I was going to redo the episode over the weekend, and I'm looking at a couple of things going, this is probably enough, but if I don't peel back this little sticker right here and see what's underneath of it, I'm going to be sorry. Well, I was sorry, because this rabbit hole, it's now 2-part episode at least. But today's Monday, maybe tonight, tomorrow, Wednesday, you're going to get bang, bang. You're going to get two episodes. And you cannot, you could not believe what I'm going to show you. All this time, I had the facts showed that the attack on Bryan and Cecelia at Lake Berryessa was probably some kind of copycat attack, although it bizarrely involved a bizarre number of people, including Hal Snook, in bizarre, suspicious ways. I thought, and they weren't from there. Supposedly, this could have been a random attack. And then the unrelated, if related, totally, like very distant relative of Betty Lou Jensen's, the girl at the lake, who was on the Myth of the Zodiac Killer documentary. And before you watch Netflix's documentary, you really need to read this book. And then watch the documentary based on it, The Myth of the Zodiac Killer. But it's like chapter 2. It takes this book and then goes beyond. They follow up on the book. Well, the witness at the lake, the 3 girls who reported the creeper, who kept watching them at the lake right before Bryan and Cecelia were attacked, she said there were 3 of them. She was a redhead, there was a brunette, and there was a blonde. And that the blonde was lying on her tummy getting some sun and not watching the creeper. Miss Jensen, the redhead, and her friend the brunette were the ones watching the creeper, who did not have his face covered, but did not recognize pictures of Dennis Land, which was interesting. Also did not see any cars parked behind Bryan and Cecilia's car. So we know the killer did not park behind. Read this book. The evidence showed the killer did not park behind Bryan and Cecilia's car. The evidence showed that the killer parked on the what in those days was the levee road that was only accessed by law enforcement personnel. read the book. But she said the blonde girl, the first time she looked up was when they're like, we're leaving. So they get up to leave. And that's the first time that the creeper can see the blonde girl's face. And he leaves. He vanishes. And he walks over the hill and attacks Bryan and Cecelia instead. This is how she remembered it, implying that Cecelia was the intended target. And like I point out in the book, according to the actual police reports from that day, the park ranger, Dennis Land, followed Bryan and Cecelia when they crossed the Pope Creek Bridge on their way down to the beach. He followed them in his park ranger pickup truck. Then he goes down to the beach and he sees a blonde girl and he waits and he waits and he waits till he sees her face. It's not Cecelia, so he goes and he finds Cecelia and he attacks her. I also mentioned that September 27th was Betty Lou Jensen's sister Melody's birthday. So I'm doing this, so I'm like, okay, Bryan and Cecelia especially, the problem was Cecelia was born in India. Her parents were missionaries. Her father was born in India. They were Seventh-day Adventist missionaries. So there wasn't a lot of information to go on. Well, there was something nagging me in the back of my mind. Actually, there were several things. I'm like, I'm forgetting something. Well, I peeked in those little, they weren't even rabbit holes. They were more like crawdad holes. If you've ever seen a crawdad hole. Poof went my wig for what it's worth. So, I'm getting that together. It's not quite 100% done. That will be, those two episodes mirrored on both the YouTube members only. Get signed up for that. If you're one of those old boosters on the old premium website, it will be, those episodes will be uploaded to that as soon as they're streamed on YouTube. I'll just record them and I will upload them. There's going to be at least 2 episodes, one about Bryan and one about Cecelia. It's not just about Melody Jensen's birthday. It's not just about, this ties in with, see, I've been holding back showing you this stuff. I'm going to have to show you. There weren't just commie moles inside the State Department. What does the attack on Bryan and Cecelia have to do with communist moles in the Department of Agriculture and the Department of Transportation and the Bureau of Land Management? Etc., etc., etc. Commie moles which have been identified. What does this have to do with the Rosenberg spy ring? It turns out that this one apparently unrelated, probably totally random Zodiac attack might be even more important than the murder of Darlene Ferrin, which I've already showed you 6 episodes on that, 6 or 7 episodes on Jim and Darlene. Well, and then it was like, so you saw a couple of, no, you didn't. Maybe I did. Links between the Hartnells and Jim Crabtree. Multiple. Meaningful links between the Hartnells and Jim Crabtree. Multiple meaningful links between Cecelia. Never underestimate the professor. But, so that's coming in the next couple of days. Let's catch up on a little bit of news, shall we? Kamala Harris unveils new proposals targeting black men as she looks to shore up her coalition. I just love the way the old stream media keep condescending to poor, dumb, ignorant black folks who don't know any better, don't know how to run their own lives. They don't understand anything about politics. They don't know where their best interests lie. I just love the way they condescend, because I can tell you this right now. I know a couple of black people, believe it or not, and every single one of them are voting as loudly and as often as they can for Donald Trump, even though they know that in Illinois, she's already got Illinois in the bag. There's just no way. But they're voting. I don't know. I think that outcome is going to be a little surprising, even in Illinois. Might not win Illinois. But remember, Trump voters don't respond to polls. That's part of their strategy. Let the Democrats underestimate them. That's their word, not mine. She's trailing in every swing state except, out of the 7 swing states, she's trailing in 5 of them now that we know of. This is what happens when you put a rookie quarterback in with no NFL experience whatsoever, and you put that rookie quarterback in and think they're going to take you to the playoffs. This is what happens. This is what happens. Top Oregon official put on leave for allegedly prioritizing qualified job candidates over gender identity. Like, literally, this is the complaint from a disgruntled whistleblower. I'll let you read that one for yourself. Trump receives unanimous endorsement from the Border Patrol Union. There's a shock. But according to the old stream media, guess what? They just love Kamala. The border czar. Remember the border czar? Doesn't take credit for jack shit. What I love is Joe Biden's going around talking about her being involved in his policies, almost like she's been president the last 4 years. Joe Biden is not a forgive and forget Christian. He's been excommunicated by the Catholic Church. Joe Biden doesn't forgive, let alone forget jack shit. He got kneecapped, and now he's taken her out at the kneecaps. Don't listen to Grandpa, he's senile. As Kamala makes case for the presidency, her record as prosecutor draws fresh scrutiny. Once CNN dumps you, you're finished. Now, Channel, if you're listening. Remember Channel? Remember our good friend RR Channel? He has a YouTube channel, had a YouTube channel. Remember, he keeps challenging my assertions that Cristoforo Colombo was secretly Irish. He was crypto-Irish. Well, Channel, chalk a big fat one up for Channel. Speaking of Catholics, speaking of diehard Catholics, ask Channel if Joe Biden is a good Catholic. Well, we're going to have to, here comes a whole episode apologizing to Channel, because DNA has apparently confirmed Christopher Columbus was a Jew. So Channel scores the touchdown, I win the game, sort of. Christopher Columbus was a Sephardic Jew. Who knew? Yeah, we're going to get a whole episode there. The United States is sending military advisors to Israel. What could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong for Kamala? She just lost Michigan. This cost her Michigan. U.S. to send air defense system and troops to man it, the Terminal High Altitude Area Defense Battery, to Israel. And Joe Biden is loudly telling everybody who still listens that she's all up in these policies. She just lost Michigan. She'd pretty much lost Michigan anyway. Now she has lost Michigan. No question about it. And here we go again. Here's another attempted assassination of Donald Trump. The clay pigeon of Pennsylvania Avenue. Can't anybody shoot the son of a bitch so that he stays shot? This is a joke. This is an allusion. This is an allusion to, was it Legs Diamond? Was it Legs Diamond or Crazy Legs Diamond? Which one was it? The clay pigeon of the underworld? Can anybody shoot the son of a bitch so he stays shot? Kamala's campaign is falling rapidly behind Donald Trump in 3 new polls. And remember, they've won every poll. They just haven't won the elections. This time they're losing the polls. The little October surprises are not going well, including the hurricanes. Talk about blowing somebody's wig off. Here's a painting of me, actual footage of me with a cold. That's me right there. This, I'm going to Should I take the risk? I'm not saying this guy's my guru, but this little comment right here, I'm going to play just a tiny little bit of this.
One of the things we won't honestly discuss in our society, one of many, is the fundamental nature of female political psychopathology.
You had me at female political psychopathology. I am now a convert. Yeah, Little Richard talking about the entertainment industry 40 years ago. California passes bill to give illegal immigrants $300 per week in your unemployment benefits. Body parts found in Colorado freezer identified as a 16-year-old girl missing since 2005. The buckaroos keep bringing up Grand Junction, Colorado. See, there was a uranium mine. Most of America's atomic bombs were made of uranium mined outside Grand Junction, Colorado. The little-known factor driving up housing prices, dirty money being laundered into real estate. I've been telling you people about that for years. Get plugged in. This goes right back to Sandy Hoax. This goes right back to Son of Sam. This goes right back to Abigail Folger. This goes right back to all of it. Laundering money into real estate. Netflix features convicted stalker as expert in documentary on Zodiac Killer. Guess who they're talking about? I won't mention his real name, but he has shit where his brains are supposed to be, which I've proven many times. I've got a whole episode down in the wine cellar. I laid that one down. It's getting better and better every day. Videos of dogs afraid of cats. I love that. I've been watching speedboat videos for some reason. Video of the little boy at Hooters. These videos of birds teasing other animals. You saw the one of the bird that started a fight between two cats and then broke it up, right? You saw that video? I don't think these are deep fakes. Here's another one. Pestering this dog. An oldie but a goodie, two dogs talking. He's great around dogs, but unpredictable and snappy around other humans. Mittens, the comic cat, has struck Earth. I guarantee there's no life on other planets, or we would have sent them money already. That's a good point. Well, Karen Rogers' season will be over tonight. If they lose to the Bills, their season's over, and they know it. Early voting is down significantly compared to 2020, and the data hold bad news for Democrats. Remember, Joe Biden won the mail-in vote, and Trump won the in-person vote. Don't forget that. U.S. Congressman accidentally reveals American plan in Africa. That's a good one. Watch it. I forgot what this was about.
Wouldn't it be crazy if they found...
Oh, yeah. All those minerals. Yeah, this is about Wyoming. Read the book Red Cloud's War. Read the book Red Cloud's War. Read the book about that. Wyoming gas and oil estimated total approximately 1.2 trillion cubic feet of gas. Elk Fire, Wyoming, 74,000 acres burned. These wildfires and floods happening in places where there are massive mineral deposits. That is a lot of coincidences. Oh, yeah. My wife rarely goes with me to Costco, and I'm shocked she even let me take a picture of her. She's the one in the background holding the basket. Not a phone in sight. Just people living in the moment. It's called Schadenfreude. Look it up. Trump plans to use 1798 law to dismantle illegal immigrant gang and kick criminals out of the U.S. He knows how to get votes. If you're going to run for president, you have to know how to get votes. In order to do that, you need a lot of practice running in primary elections. New York pursuing thousands of hotel rooms to house migrants amid $5 billion. New York's going to spend $5 billion to house illegal migrants. Biden calls Kamala president at hurricane briefing after being interrupted twice. Have you seen this one? Yeah, they're panicking all right. See, if you hired a defensive coordinator to be your head coach and you build a great defense, but your offense sucks. So it's time to fire the defensive coordinator, like the Broncos did with Vance Joseph, but they demoted him back to defensive coordinator. Broncos probably had the best defense in the league till yesterday. So your offense is sputtering. So you fire the defensive coordinator head coach and you replace him with an offensive coordinator. But the Jets didn't do that. They replaced him with his successor as defensive coordinator. And this is going to fix the offense tonight against the Bills, who Von Miller has been suspended. Their other pass rusher, it's just the perfect time to try to beat the Bills. Because theoretically, if they beat the Bills, they'll be tied for first place in the NFC East, and they theoretically have a shot at the playoffs because the rest of their schedule is garbage. They have the easiest schedule in the NFL. But if they lose tonight, they fired the head coach, they did this, they did that, they did everything else. They have shot Aaron Rodgers up so full of painkillers, he doesn't even know he has a left leg. If they lose tonight, their season's over, the Aaron Rodgers experiment is over, and everybody knows it. This is called panic. No team has ever fired their head coach in the middle of the season and gone to the Super Bowl. I think one team actually played a wild card game. Fashion designer Donna Karan, DKNY, comes to Harvey Weinstein's defense, suggesting his victims may have been asking for it by the way they dressed. This is a fashion designer blaming women for wearing sexy clothes around Harvey Weinstein. TD Bank fined $3 billion. That's a big fine for a bank for failing to prevent money laundering by drug cartels. And what were they laundering money into? Real estate in your neighborhood. These corporations buying up residential houses to rent out. Where do you think they got the capital to do that? CBS edited that interview with Kamala so she wouldn't look so stupid. CBS already admitted, well, that's not really up to our standards. There are multiple books written exposing the fraud and myth of 60 Minutes. Going way back, way back. All the way back to Mike Wallace. There have been multiple books exposing Mike Wallace as a fraud. Kamala has raised $1 billion just since July. Look how much that job is worth to certain people. Yeah, so they, instead of firing the offensive coordinator whose offense sucks, you fire the head coach who built a Super Bowl caliber defense. This is how you make it to the playoffs, apparently. Kamala covers her mouth, says it's a live broadcast after stumbling through Hurricane Milton speech. Conspiracy theories are located. This is a librarian. Conspiracy theories are located in the basement we don't have. Is this picture real? Is this a Photoshop of because it could be super duper easy to Photoshop LeBron onto this LeBron's face. So I don't know if this is real or not. But it hasn't been debunked by Facebook yet. That's what I use Facebook for. I'm too lazy to check on things myself. Here's a picture of the Las Vegas Strip when I was there in 1984. You see that those taillights right there? I think that's me. St. Peter is in heaven and the dog and the cat show up. He asked the dog, were you a good dog? Oh, yeah, I begged and I was loyal. Begged for food and I was loyal. And were you a good cat? You're sitting in my chair. New York software engineer convicted in 1994 Virginia murder. Trendiaragua gang comes for U.S. kids. Gang member accused of trying to recruit middle school students in Texas. Historical video, conspiracy theory video by Bill Cosby. If you can't believe Bill Cosby, who can you believe? There's a replacement heart. Instead of an artificial heart, they put this mechanical sleeve around your heart and just make it beat forever. And this guy's comment was, but I still can't play music on the YouTube app and close the app? Oh. If a man speaks in the forest and there is no woman there to hear him, is he still wrong? That's a good one. Here's a video of hydrogen and oxygen atoms forming a water molecule. They were able to record this. What you are seeing, those blobs are the effect of the electron shells. That's the electromagnetic bubble around. But you can see this. You can see hydrogen and oxygen combining to form a water molecule. Isn't that really cool? That is really cool. Imagine being alive, two guys riding the penny farthing bicycles. Imagine being alive in the 1800s and a white man calls you and then rides into the sunset on this goofy ass shit. I would have been mad as fuck. That's a really good caption for that picture. This is good. This is a picture of Britney Spears with Diddy the day before she gave that bizarre performance at the Video Music Awards. Maybe she has an excuse. Trump gains. Politicon is admitting Trump gained slim lead in Michigan. Well, now it's a blowout in Michigan. Interim head coach Jeff Ulbrich says Aaron Rodgers will be a vital resource. Yeah, and Jimmy Hoffa will always be a cornerstone in the organization. Portland just threw out their entire city government. Election time came around and guess who lost? But it's okay. They drove down property values so that these it's not all migrants are in gangs, but these Venezuelan gangs can take their drug money and they can buy up downtown Portland and sell it to the Chinese or whatever. False information reviewed by third. See, this is why I do this. BlackRock signed a $90 million contract for mining lithium in the very same area that was hardest hit by Hurricane Helene. Well, maybe, right. It's totally false, or are you just splitting hairs here, fake book? Milton found out Florida took his stapler. I'm not laughing at what happened to Florida, but it wasn't. All of a sudden, they're not covering these disasters. Have you noticed the old stream media has not been covering those disasters? Why not? They're just not really saying anything about them. I thought they were going to scream bloody murder about climate change, but all of a sudden they've shut up about them. Why? If it's all the Republicans' fault, why have CNN and Politico and MSNBC shut up about them completely? Yeah, here's a good one. Remember when she got in that kerfluffle with Kusi? What's his name? Not Kusi. She got kicked upstairs. Remember, she stomped off the stage? She got promoted to senior advisor. Because he told her, she goes, that's disinformation. She uses the same rhetorical trick as Fani Willis. Not that there's any coincidence there between their race or anything, but that she uses that same rhetoric. You start to ask her a question, and she calls the question a lie instead of answering the question. And Ducey, is his name Ducey? He asked her, because the president won't give press conferences, and neither will Kamala. How come it's the Republican Congress's fault that there's no money for Hurricane Helene, but the president found $157 million? Well, Kamala bragged. She bragged about sending $157 million to Gaza or Lebanon. He said, how come you can find that money, but you can't find any money to send to North Carolina? And before he could even ask the question, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's disinformation. He said, well, just because you don't like the question doesn't make it disinformation. And she stomped off the stage. Well, she just got kicked upstairs. For whatever that's worth. There it is. Ducey questions Lebanon funding during hurricane season. She just stomped off the stage, and the next day she was promoted. Yeah, my wife yelled from upstairs, you ever get a shooting pain like somebody's stabbing a voodoo doll? I said, no. And she said, how about now? Oh, Diddy's mom comes out of hiding to defend her son. You know who she is, right? And you know who his dad was, right? You know what happened to his dad, right? Is this it? Am I close to being caught up here? Yes, I am. Yep, that's it. Yeah, you have seen these. Okay, so I'll get right back to work on the Bryan and Cecelia episode. It's going to be 2 parts. It's going to be both this week. If not tonight, I should get one of them out to you tomorrow. Okay, I just want to get them right now because they're... Okay, thank you very much for your kind attention. Good morning. God bless. Please take care of yourselves, and please... Oh, what am I talking about? Remember, what's this got to do with commies? You ever heard of the A-20 Havoc? One of the predecessors. This is Douglas Aircraft's equivalent of the B-25 ground attack aircraft. Most of them were sold to the Soviet Union. Remember that? No? Well, stay plugged in. Get plugged in to the Stones Unturned podcast, members only. And I'll see you soon. Mwah. Put that wherever you want it. Did I forget to tell you something? Yeah. You know about the commies in the Department of Agriculture and Department of Transportation, right? Did you know that there were commies in Oklahoma during World War II? I'm Professor Thomas Henry Horan, asking you to please stay plugged in to the Stones Unturned podcast.
He reads everything.
See you guys.